Has the numbness or whatever it was in your hand gone away?
Yep.
How soon after the game ended?
Pretty much by the next day, like it was feeling back normal, a little bit less numbing.
So your grip on the ball felt fine today?
Yeah.
Is it the funny bone? I mean, like everybody's had happen? Yeah. Ouch. Nothing funny about it.
No, definitely not.
So you're playing Sunday?
We'll see. Yeah, I'm hopeful.
Okay.
Hey Jordan, I didn't hear the first part, but do you have feeling back is it back fully or
Yes.
close?
Yes.
So Jordan, why did they limit you?
Just based on my hand, getting back to it.
So if the feeling's back, does it still hurt in any way, or how is it affecting you at practice?
Yeah, it's more my elbow. Just covering that.
Soreness.
Yes.
Does it hurt when you throw? Like, do you feel it when you're throwing?
Yeah.
So Christian Watson, tough injury. And so talk about how these guys need to step up in the kind of role that he's played for you.
Yeah, I mean, big time role for us, for sure. So that's a huge loss. It's one of those ones that it sucks. You hurt for Christian, especially at this time of the year. But like you said, definitely, other guys are gonna have to step up. We got a deep receiver room. Guys have kind of done that all year. We've battled through different injuries, guys missing games, things like that. So it's just another situation that guys will step up and make plays, and we're confident in that group.
When you saw these guys, the Eagles week 1 in Brazil, did you have any inkling that this would end up being the number 1 defense in the league?
Yeah, I mean, when we played them week 1, we knew what kind of team they were, based on last year. And, yeah, I mean, they're a really good defense. They've got really good players over there. So, obviously, we played them. We saw what they're about. And, we did some good things that game. But, yeah, they're a really good defense, really sound. It's one of those games that everybody's got to be at their best.
Did you cut loose today, or do you have to wait till later in the week to try to
What was that?
throwing? Did you cut loose today, or do you need to wait till later in the week to do that?
Yeah, we'll wait till later in the week.
If you had to cut loose today, do you think you could have?
Cut loose, as in,
Just let her rip.
yeah, I'll throw, my normal, I don't know what you mean by that, sorry.
Will you have to wear any protection on it during the game, you think, on the elbow?
I'm not sure right now. We'll see. We'll kind of judge how it feels doing that, wearing padding, things like that. So we'll see.
You did have padding on it today, though? Or
No.
you did not?
Jordan, as much as you'd like to continue to talk about your elbow, I'm curious about what you did in last year's playoff game against the Cowboys. There were 2 really good quarterbacks that came here before you, and I'm not sure how many games they had in the postseason as good as that. What does that do for you going into this playoff game? Anything at all?
Yeah, I think it definitely gives you confidence. Especially last year, it gave me a lot of confidence. I think just the way we played and executed as an offense, gave us a lot of confidence in that time. But like we said, it's a new faces, a new team, and we got to go out there and do it again. We can't live on what we might have did last year against the Cowboys, things like that. So we got to go out there and handle business and execute. But that's kind of, I feel like, what this offense can be at when we are kind of at our best. So there's definitely that's the limit or the level we need to get to.
How much does that experience help this time around? You're still a very young team in relation to the rest of the league, but having 2 playoff games under your belts, how much does that matter? And just how different was the speed, the intensity, and how much can you really use that experience to your advantage?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps a lot. Gaining that playoff experience, having played in 2 playoff games with a lot of these guys in this locker room. So, it's playoffs. It's win or go home. You got to be able to go out there and execute and take advantage of every play. You can't really have mess ups and mistakes, and there's no do-overs in the playoffs. So I think this group understands that, and obviously we got some reps of that last year, but got to go out there and play our best ball.
Just the less momentum you guys have going into the postseason compared to last year, is that something concerning at all? Just that this offense has not looked their best maybe the last couple weeks?
No, does not concern me at all. We got to go out there and play our best ball Sunday. It doesn't. I mean, you could be undefeated going to playoffs and lose your first game. So, you got to be able to go out there and execute and be at our best.
What did your experience in Philly, filling in for Aaron a couple of years ago, feel like? What was the crowd like that day? What did it feel like to have success in that atmosphere, and does that help at all?
Yeah, I'd say for me, having been there, played before, kind of helps you understand what kind of environment you're going into. So, yeah, it's a good fan base over there. It's a pretty cool stadium to play in, and it's definitely going to be loud. So we got to be able to prepare for that. We've played in, loud road games so far this season, so I think we'll be just fine. But yeah, it's a good environment to play in for sure.
Jordan, I guess I'm curious when you're working with the receivers, trying to get that passing game, similar to where it was at the first of the year. Is it more like in the meetings and conversations where you guys are trying to build that back, or is it more just on the field, like you guys just need to see it? I guess how's that going?
It's everything. It's everything you do while you're in this facility. When you go home, the way we talk about concepts and how we install it, how we go run it in the walkthroughs, and make sure everybody's on the same page with the timing, and, just exactly how you run routes, things like that. And then it takes over at the practice field, and we're getting those full speed live reps at it. So, that comes down to just being at our best, being on the same page, and that's everything we do while we're here in the building.
Jordan, it's never just one thing when something's not functioning the way you want it. So have you kind of diagnosed what's been going on with the passing game the last several weeks? Like, what do you think you need to do specifically better to get it back to what it's been earlier in the year?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to go out there and execute. At the end of the day, we got to get in a rhythm early. I think that's really important. When you start a game, to be able to just feel like you're in that rhythm, feel like things are hitting, and obviously make plays early on. So I think if we get back in that rhythm and are executing at a high level, I think it makes it easier to go out there and play confident, play free. We just got to go out there and make plays at the end of the day.
You with your elbow, hand, whatever, you had said the other day that your accuracy has been inconsistent. Do you feel like you can get back to being accurate too? And is it more footwork or whatever else that can get you there? It's not necessarily dependent on how your elbow feels or what?
That's kind of the same thing I said earlier. Is it with that? It's everything. It's footwork, the timing of the plays, being on the same page with the receivers. Obviously, your fundamentals, throwing the ball. Make sure everything's on point. So there's a lot of things that play into that, but it comes down to just being locked into the details, being on point when you get out there in the game, and just going out there and doing the same thing you do in practice. Making sure everything transfers over to the game.
During your week of preparation, as each day goes on, by the time you get to Saturday night, are there things you see from the opponent say this might work, or here's something we do really well? Like by the time it's Sunday, there's a dozen plays you say you're really excited about. You think that this could go. Is that the feeling you want to have on game day?
Oh, always. When we game plan plays, there's always, obviously, coaches feel a certain type of way about some plays, and players might feel a certain type of way about some plays. So you go through the week, you practice this stuff against the scout team, see how it kind of comes to life. You have plays you feel really good about, and plays you might not feel as confident about, and then you go out there and play the game, and those plays you felt good about might not work the same as you thought it might. So you never know what play is going to be the one. What play might not be as good. So that's why you go out there and play the game. But there's definitely throughout the week plays you feel better about and plays you might not feel as good about. So.